What's happening, everybody? This is Daniel. Today we're going to be talking about why salespeople in a private function and private event context really struggle to close colder prospects or prospects who maybe haven't been to your venue before or have limited exposure to the venue that you're involved in. However, they do have a private function or private event that they're planning, and they do want to figure out if your event space could potentially work for them. Why is it very difficult for some salespeople to move these prospects over the line and actually convince them to do business with you because it's in both of your best interest? So the fundamental problem that I see very common with this is hospitality businesses and private function or private event spaces, as a general rule, most of their lead flow coming into them, into the business, is going to be warm, okay? Someone who's heard about your venue through some positive word of mouth that they've seen. Maybe they've actually been to a private function or private event in your space in the past, or maybe they, someone very close to them made a really strong recommendation that you reach out to them. So by the time they reach out to you, they already view you as a bit of an authority, and they're essentially wanting you to take their order, right? As long as you're not rude and you don't really put them off, most likely that they're going to be pretty easy to get over the line and do business because they're coming to you very warm. They're starting the sales interaction with you from you being an authority in their mind. Ultimately, you could probably clump this into the realm of order taking, because yes, you are selling the space to some degree, but more so you're just taking the order from the prospect, because they're sort of coming to you and saying, hey, is the space available? Do you have the dates available? Can you help me? Yes, I can. Take the order, okay? That is what most hospitality venues and hospitality businesses are built off. Positive word of mouth that really generates the majority of their referral and repeat business, and it's quite easy to continue generating business from that avenue. Problem is, what if that avenue is not generating you enough business? Well, then you have to shift toward marketing. Marketing is essentially putting a promotional message out into the marketplace with the intention of artificially stimulating demand. What happens in this case if you're trying to generate more private functions and private event inquiries for your venue, aka more demand for the private function space that you may have, is you generate prospects that maybe wouldn't have reached out to you if they never saw any marketing, right? They were never going to come to you organically because they would have already come to you organically if they were. So a big part of the reason that they make an inquiry is purely through the advertising that they see. Naturally, these people are going to be colder. Maybe they've never been to your venue before. Maybe they've never heard positive things about your venue before. Maybe they've never heard negative things. Maybe they don't know anything at all. Maybe their close friends or family have never made a positive recommendation. So when they reach out to you, they're not coming to you viewing you as an authority. There's naturally going to be more skepticism and more guards up when they're talking to you. By nature, this means that they are colder prospects. And as a private function or private event sales specialist, we need to be able to talk to these prospects, understand their wants and needs, and see if what they're looking for is actually a good fit for what we have. And this is really the fundamental issue that most private function or private event salespeople have. They don't know how to understand and learn what a prospect is looking for in a sales conversation because they're so used to order taking. So what can we actually do to close more of these prospects who really don't have rapport built with us when they start a sales conversation? Well, firstly, we need to really put all of our attention onto the prospect and ask them great emotional-based questions to figure out what they are actually looking for and truly listen to them. Because the more heard and understood that they feel when they engage with you, the more rapport is going to build during the duration of the sales call that you're having with them. So really putting all of the attention of a sales conversation on them and what they're looking for, and really try to understand what that is. We can then articulate this back to them to say, look, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, I've been listening to you. You've told me you want this, 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 and this piece over here is also interesting. When we do that and we relay it back, rapport is automatically going to build, and they'll start to view you more as a trusted authority. When this happens, the sales conversation becomes a lot easier. That has to be done through asking the correct questions with the correct tonality and the correct order. Secondly, we need to be able to follow up with prospects with diligence. Often people, sales professionals that I talk to who sell private functions and private event spaces, they feel a little bit anxious about following up with prospects too many times because I don't want to bug them. The problem is human beings nowadays, we're very busy and we're only getting more noise coming into our world. Okay, so following up with prospects 5, 10, 15 times, if it's done in a kosher manner, is okay, especially if you have their best interests at heart, because what the solutions that you have could very much help them with the situation that they're in. Okay, so not being afraid to follow up and really having the prospect's best interest at heart when we follow up is going to start to eliminate some of that anxiety and ultimately lead you to more closed deals. The last big point that I would make is picking up the phone and having sales conversations with prospects. I see it very often that when an inquiry comes into a business, whether it's a warm inquiry that comes organically, naturally a salesperson's response is, oh, I'll just send them an email with some information. The problem is that's okay if the prospect is very warm and they come to you with an order ready to be taken. The problem is if they come to us colder and they don't know much about us and we just send them some information, very, very rare that you're going to be able to close a sale that way. Picking up the phone and having a sales conversation with this person where we ask them questions allows us to build rapport with that prospect, and they tie that sales conversation actually to the reputation of the business because they're having a sales engagement with you who is representing the business. Okay, when there is rapport built, we can then trade that rapport ultimately for a sale as long as we don't make too many mistakes post that point. So getting prospects on the phone is always going to be the best approach that you can take when you're talking to these prospects and trying to move them across the line. Okay, don't be afraid to pick up the phone, otherwise it's a game not even worth playing. And if you want to do marketing, you should try doing a different style of marketing that maybe could help, because if you have inquiries coming in off the back of the marketing you do, you must get them on the phone and walk them through a structured selling process. Cool, so I hope somebody out there got a little bit of value out of that. I hope that might have answered a couple questions that maybe you or someone you know might have regarding this world of private function and private event sales. So if you did, I'd love a like for the video. It just helps with the algorithm a lot. And we got a lot more content similar to this. So feel free to leave some comments below. We can make some videos around subjects that you're interested in. Otherwise, if you haven't subscribed, I would very much appreciate that. That'll help a lot. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you guys in a future video.